All right. Hello. So, this is a little bit impromptu, so sorry if not everything goes as planned, because there isn't really a plan. I'm just kind of going at this. It's, uh, what, 11:48 p.m. on Tuesday, February 25th, and voting is in 2 days, and I have not decided who I'm going to vote for. I have not looked very much into it. I have very much gone vibes because the entire world is just kind of a little spooky right now. And I didn't want to overcomplicate things. So, today, what we'll be doing is we're just going to go through all the different platforms of all the different candidates and see who I like, see what I don't like, and maybe by the end of the stream, I'll at least have a better idea of who I want to vote for in the election coming this week. Um, I brought up the platforms for the four parties that I think are the most relevant. That is the Liberals, that is the Conservatives, that is the NDP, and that is the Green Party. So I have all four up, and we're going to go through kind of in order of how long their platforms are. And I have a list of my domestic, foreign, and like social politics things that I would like them to touch on, and then I will either give them a plus or a negative in each category once we get to there. So let me just. This is totally gonna. Okay, let me. Dude, I haven't streamed in so long. I need to figure out. Where's the split button again? I don't know. I think it was this. Oh, that's me frozen. That's me now unfrozen. Alright, so, as you can see, we have all four of their platforms, and a little bit of a flashbang, my bad. Can we turn it into dark mode? Is this? Oh, that's Gemini. How do I don't know how to turn it into dark mode. Is it view? I swear there's a dark mode now. That's not what I wanted. Anyways, you're getting flashbanged. I'm getting flashbanged. You can see how overexposed I am because my shitty little webcam can't deal with that. So what I'm looking for when I'm voting, oh my god, I am so, like, incredibly, how do I, Google Docs dark mode. Control A? Oh, no, that's not. I don't know. It's not working. You're gonna have to deal with me being a ghost whenever we're on this page. I'm sorry. So for domestic, I would like if they were pro-nuclear, nuclear energy, because it seems to be, from what I've seen, the most sustainable and like the least pollution out there. Less fossil fuels, and more in general, just cutting down on global warming. This can include like, keeping with the no plastic straws into paper and like the wooden stuff or whatever. Just cutting down on shit that's bad for the environment. There's a lot of like student visa shenanigans that goes on here, and I don't know the extent of it. I just know it's a thing, and if they would like to touch on it and speak about it, then that's a plus. But honestly, I'm not knowledgeable enough to actually comment on if that's good or not. I know that I'm not going to be voting for the Conservatives because they took away my fucking science center, and how fucking dare they? I cannot believe it. So they've lost my vote for condemning the science center. And if any of them, they got a big plus in my book if they even mention bringing back the science center. housing. This is the Science Center in Toronto, by the way. Housing. I would like them to touch more on multifamily housing and be like realistic with it, and not just like we're gonna build family homes. Where is it coming from? I don't know. Just like give me an actual plan towards it instead of just like here's this thing that I want to do. Foreign, I think my biggest thing is I will not vote for a party if they are even slightly pro-Russia or anti-Ukraine. That is a absolute deal breaker for me. If I see any bit of that, that is losing my vote instantly. I have no clue. I would have given you a more firm thing on Gaza and Israel, but then Trump said he was just going to like move everybody there. So you know what? Fuck, I might be like allowing a little bit more, tightening the leash on Israel. Strengthening ties with Europe, I think this is a big thing, because we need to move away from the U.S. because of the tariffs that they are imposing and just how generally unstable it has been the past like 2 months or whatever since the new administration, and we're only like, a quarter of a year into a 4-year administration. It's gonna be real fun. It could not go well. Social stuff, it's sort of a deal breaker if they are not pro-choice. I don't care if they're like, if it's not one of their big policy things. Like I'm not a single issue voter on it, but I will not vote if they are pro-life, like anti-pro-choice. Again, same thing with LGBTQ. It's a big thing for me. I don't care if it's their like number one thing. There are other things that are kind of more important. I think in this country, the status quo for a lot of LGBTQ stuff is pretty good. As long as they are in favor of keeping it the way it is, that is good. If they want to expand it, that is good. As long as we don't regress on it, I'm fine with that. Pro-democracy, if just any sort of like fascist type shit, I cannot deal with. Any like sort of like Trump dick suck, like all hail the king type shit, that instantly is a no. And if I get the vibe that there's general xenophobia, especially towards the Indian immigrant communities and stuff, that's also losing my vote. That's a big topic in Canada, and a lot of people are very like casual on like hating on Indian immigrants and stuff. And I think this also like ties into like the visa stuff. I don't like the general sentiment around like these people are worse because I don't like the blaming of the people over like the blaming of the systems a lot of the time. Like, is there an immigration issue? Maybe. I don't know enough about that, but I don't think it should be the hate should not be directed at the people. It should be at the politicians that have set up the like systems in place to allow that to be abused. So yeah, that's the general thing I'm looking for. We're gonna start with the Liberals because I have it set for like the page count, so we're gonna start easy. We're gonna go with the Liberals, then the what's it called, the Conservatives, then the NDP, and then if I have energy, we might try and tackle the 60-page Green Party. I might not have energy because it's midnight. Might do this tomorrow. I won't lie. Okay. Let's start. A Plan to Do More for You by Team Bonnie. I'm terrible at reading out loud. I'm sorry in advance. I didn't see anybody else do this, and I wish there was, and I probably should have looked before I started doing this, but, a message from Bonnie to the people of Ontario. We are at a breaking point. After 7 years of Doug Ford, Ontario is falling behind. More than 2.5 million people in our province don't have a family doctor. Emergency rooms are closing. Hallway healthcare is getting worse. Housing costs are out of control, and the cost of living is punishing. And the cost of living is punishing. Instead of doing his job and getting the basics right for you, Doug Ford has called a costly early election without giving the people of his province a true picture of Ontario's economic and fiscal position as we go into the possible trade war with Donald Trump. Just trust him? We can't. You deserve better. You deserve a leader that puts you first, and that's why I'm committed to this plan A plan focused on getting the basics right for you and making your life a better and a lot more affordable. The plan includes no tax increases and no new taxes, and it costs less than Doug Force Fantasy Tunnel. What the fuck does that even mean? Just out the gate, I don't like this talk around taxes. I get that this is a talking point and you're trying to win over voters, but I don't like the talking of taxes as this big old boogeyman. Like, if taxes need to increase so that we can actually pay for the services that we want, then we can fucking do tax increases, right? It's my whole life motto is kind of, a hammer is good for a nail, it is not good for a baby. Like, a tax system is just a tool. There can be good tax systems and bad tax systems, but in the end, it is just a tool, and it can be used for good or bad, right? I think a good tax system would, like, allow people that are at the bottom to kind of get back up, and the people at the top, you know, can be taxed more. And then there's sort of a middle ground, but there's always room for upward mobility. And I think finding that, like, sweet zone is very difficult, but I feel like it's very difficult, especially because on one side you have people going, there needs to be no taxes whatsoever, and then the other part is going, okay, we need so many taxes, but it's only for people that aren't me, and then nothing ever gets done because nobody's actually coming to the table with actual sensible discussion about, like, what taxes we need and for what purposes they will be used for. Yeah, who knows? Anyways, that's just to say this is a red flag, but red flags don't always mean danger. That's just it's a red flag. You look here for further investigation. You know, growing Ontario's economy starts with investing in our workers, communities, and healthcare, not just Doug Ford's rich friends. Ontario's Liberals will invest in the roads, hospitals, and schools in the community they need, reduce gridlock, and support our economic growth and diversification. When we make life more affordable and create good jobs, we build a stronger future for everyone so that we can pay for the healthcare, education, and services that we rely on. We need to go back to the basics right. They'll deliver it. How? Guarantee that everybody has a doctor in 4 years. Guarantee everyone family doctors in 4 years. Ensure mental health care is covered by OHIP and supported seniors to age with dignity. Slash taxes, saving thousands annually, permanently cutting down on income tax for workers, and eliminating sales tax on home heating and hydro bills. Build more homes you can afford by eliminating development charges, restoring the dream of home ownership. I don't give a fuck about home ownership, to be honest. And bringing back fairness to the rental market. This is that I care more about the rental market than the home ownership market, because I'm gonna have an unpopular take, but I do think that home ownership is kind of a luxury good. I'm saying this in a home owned by my mother, so I do think it is kind of a luxury good type of thing where it is, you don't need it to survive. You can always just rent, and as long as the rental market is in check, then I think that's good. Like, it should be I build up to build a house. I think it's a good thing to, like, idolize this thing, much like a car or something, where it's just, I want this thing, you know, I don't want this, like, shitty 2000 Toyota Corolla beater type thing, you know. I want the, like, nice fucking Rolls Royce. I don't know cars, but I do think, like, the more important thing is getting the rental market, because I do think that's a bigger share of the people, and the people that are buying a house typically are in a better financial space. So permanently double ODSP, so Ontario's most vulnerable are not left behind. What is ODSP? ODSP. Oh, disability support program. Okay. Clear the school repair backlogs and keep kids and educators safe and provide education that matters for Ontario's future. Okay. Now it's time for leadership to put people first. I'm ready to deliver the solutions and fix the mess. I won't walk away until you need me most. I'll be there. Okay. So, that's the message. Now, hopefully, they give us how. Because it's all good and nice to idolize something and or idealize something and go, I want this, I want this, I want this. But if you don't go how, it's just words. The healthcare system in Doug Ford's Ontario is in crisis. 2.5 million people don't have a family doctor, and if we don't act soon, that number could double in just a few short years. Thousands of people are dying on surgical and diagnosis wait lists. Hallway medicine has gotten so bad that people are treated on gurneys in break rooms, gyms, and on waiting room chairs. Ontario's Liberals have a plan to get back to the basics right and start by fixing the healthcare for everyone in Ontario. The most important job of a premier, the biggest line item for any provincial budget is healthcare. It's time to get it right. Okay. Guarantee everyone a family doctor for you in 4 years. Give every person in Ontario access to a family doctor by attracting and recruiting and retaining and integrating 3,000. How are we doing that, though? Create 2 new medical schools and expand capacity in existing medical schools, doubling the number of medical spots in residency. Okay. Delivering team-based care with evening appointments and evening and weekends. Delivering team-based care with integrated healthcare for seniors and accessible mental health services for children, youth, and teenagers. Accelerate the process to integrate at least 12,000 through Practice Ready Ontario. What is this? It's working with the Government of Canada to... Okay. So it's like allowing immigrant status or like immigrated doctors and stuff to have updated credentials and stuff. Eliminate fax machines, enhance virtual care, introduce centralized referral systems. Okay. So they can focus on patients instead of paperwork. I don't know. Okay. Incentivize family doctors to serve in rural and northern communities to mentor greater shortage. Okay, but how? Help hospitals and hire retain the staff. PSW living wage to provide them with additional training and benefits. To eliminate wage discrepancy across the system, regardless of whether you work for a hospital, in-home care, or long-term care. Invest in the real infrastructure we need, including expediting hospital repairs and expansions. Expediting. Oh my God, how do I? As part of our plan to build Ontario's economy and prepare us to withstand looming tariffs from the U.S. Okay. Protect public health care from the American-style privatization. Crack down on Ford's for-profit health care by regulating temporary nursing agency. Bring nurse practitioners into the public system and a ban for private pay NP clinics. Investigate Ford's privatization plans, including the full review of health minister mandate letter on how. Develop a francophone healthcare strategy to ensure Franco-Ontarians are able to access in their... Okay. Yeah, okay. Whenever I see, like, catering to the French, I'm just like, I understand there's a significant amount of them, but it is... In Ontario, we have less French speakers than non-French speakers. Non-French, non-English first language speakers. So whenever I hear catering specifically to francophones, when it comes to non-English speakers, I'm a little bit off-put because I think it's like a minority or something. Like, it is the majority of non-English speakers are not French speakers. They're some other third language, or third, fourth, fifth, whatever, Expand mental health and addiction systems. Introduce universal healthcare under OHIP by expanding structure physiotherapy. Psychotherapy. Oh my God, can I read? Introduce universal mental health care under OHIP by expanding Ontario's structured psychotherapy program, covering conditions like anxiety, depressions, and eating disorders, hiring social workers, or defining standards of coverage so that all Americans can perform. This will be expensive as fuck. And not doing anything with taxes is a little bit sketchy. I don't know how they're going to be able to do this while not raising taxes and not running a huge deficit. I'm in favor of this, but there needs to be some way of paying for this. Provide wraparound services or wraparound support to help people recover from addictions, including rapidly building supportive housing systems or supportive housing units. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be popular. Yeah, I don't know. People just complain so much about like safe injection sites and like anything that like helps addicts, because then it brings addicts into specific areas and stuff, and then people complain about it. Like where I used to go to school, there was a like fentanyl help thing or something, and it would bring in homeless people, and then everybody would complain about the homeless people while they're trying to like not die. It was a little bit insane. Yeah, I'm very in favor of this, but I'm scared they're gonna like die on this hill, and then it's gonna bite them in the ass. Act decisively and collaboratively with the frontline to bring deaths caused by opioid use to 0 in 4 years through expanded treatment, recovery, and rehabilitation. I don't know if 0 is achievable, but this is, yeah, that is a good call. I do think focusing on addiction, especially like with fentanyl and stuff, is very important. Support for seniors, guaranteed needs-based living, boost annual home care funding by 25%, help seniors. Okay, it's giving tax breaks to seniors, like, that's fine. But again, this just concerns me because it's a lot of, we're going to spend a shit ton of money, and I haven't heard anything so far. Maybe we'll get to this. I hope we can get to this, of how we're going to match that without just running a huge fucking deficit. Repeal the coercive? What the fuck is the coercive? Coercive. Repeal the coercive Bill 7 and ensure LTCs are held accountable for mismanagement, non-compliance, and neglect under direct care under a 4-hour minimum standard per resident per day. Okay. I know nothing about that, and I don't really care. Eradicate poverty in Ontario. Permanently doubled the disability. Okay. In Ontario, you can afford. Real people in Doug Ford's Ontario just can't get ahead. There are millions struggling to afford the basics. Young people can't afford rent, let alone buy a first house. Again, I don't give a fuck about that. And seniors priced out of downsizing when it's time to move into out of the family home. Yeah, okay. Ontario already has the second worst unemployment rate in the country after 7 years of Doug Ford's failed policies. We need to grow and diversify our economy to protect against immediate threat of tariffs from the U.S. and a larger term structural change to come. Has a real plan to put more money into the pockets every single month and ensure Ontario is ready for the looming. Okay. Backstop Ontario. Grow Ontario's communities, or grow Ontario's economy, and fight Donald Trump. Backstop Ontario businesses with a new fight tariffs fund that gives them access to lower than market interest rates. Okay. Prioritize infrastructure investments in hospitals, schools, road, public transit. Ensure taxpayer dollars, Ontario's taxpayer dollars support local businesses and jobs by excluding American companies like Elon Musk's Starlink from procurement. Okay. I guess this hits like the defending against U.S. point. Okay. Work with other provinces to eliminate nonsensical interprovincial trade barriers by adopting a policy of mutual recognition of skills, professions, and truly building Team Canada. Okay, I'm down for this. Cut youth unemployment by half by creating 8 new paid co-op internships and apprenticeship positions through a tax credit to hire young people. That'd be hype. I'm young people. Please give me money. Launch Ontario's growth strategy to ensure Ontario becomes a competitive place to attract talent, set up and grow a business, afford fixed costs such as clean energy and rent. What do they mean by clean energy? And rent, and have best-in-class consumer protections. Negotiate in good faith and eliminate the practice of using the notwithstanding clause to trample over workers' rights. Over 150,000 bonus to patriotic nurses and doctors who are currently practicing in the U.S. But want to come home and support the fully. Okay. I do think I think this point and like this point are pretty important. I do not like that America kind of just headhunts a lot of our talent. It is. I would be more open to it if America wasn't what they've turned into in the last couple months. Or I guess since like, realistically, since like 2016. Yeah. I was. It's really sad because I was very pro-America for a lot of the Biden administration. I thought they were going on a good path. And then immediately, as I was trying to warm up to them, they fucking burned me. And I was like, God damn it. I don't know how to defend any of what you are doing. Half of your electorate just elected like somebody who wants to be a dictator. It just sucks. End the background room deals and reinvest in healthcare. Leading a cross-government effort to spend taxpayers' money wisely and invest in the savings back into the economy. Investigate all of Doug's gateways, handouts, and sweetheart deals to the rich. Sure. I'm down with this. Oh. They got clickables. What the fuck? Is that the first one? No, okay. Is there other ones? Okay, we'll open this in a new tab. Okay. Scroll back up. Cut taxes on housing and restore the dream of home ownership by eliminating land transfer tax for first-time home buyers, seniors downsizing, and non-profit home builders. Scrapping development charges on new houses, cutting new housing. Okay, cutting the costs as much as $17,000 for each new family. This is not the stuff I want to hear. I don't want to hear like new family sized housing because that just means single family homes, like detached, like uh, I would much rather hear like, oh, we're going to rezone a bunch of things, take out single family homes from like industrial areas, or not industrial, but like urban areas and stuff, and like build more multi-family housing and stuff. Introducing the Better Communities Fund to help municipalities cover infrastructure costs. Bring affordability, predictability, and fairness back to the rental market. Getting more co-op rentals built. Okay. Introducing fair phase-in rent control. Yeah, I don't necessarily like rent control, because what I've heard, and this is just from like I like to put on like economist podcasts and stuff, so it's just barely. It's not actual, like I haven't looked into it, but it's like from what I've heard from stuff like that. Rent control is a very good thing, in like the idealized form, but in practice it leads to people just staying in their housing for way too long, and then prices go up because I have a good deal on this house. Why would I ever move? And so then new people can't get housing and stuff. And I think rent control is very like short-sighted, and I'm not a big fan. Uh, you're fixing a supply and demand problem by lowering the supply even more. It's a little bit yikes. Resolving new landlord-tenant disputes under 2 months and clearing the backlog cases. Okay, cool. Establishing the rental emergency support for tenants fund, provincial rent thing to provide rent bank to provide short-term interest-free loans for tenants facing financial emergencies to prevent evictions and homelessness. I think that's good. Yeah. Modernizing building codes and subjective design rules. Extend a step back, angular plane. What does that mean? Establish a provincial catalog of pre-approved housing designs. Create more housing near transit and are following the best practices adopted by jurisdictions like British Columbia. Spit up the conversation. Does this mean multifamily housing? Like, there was nothing about like building multifamily. Like, I guess there's the like co-op and rental apartments built, but that's like it. I think the issue is that like the average person can't afford just an apartment, and that's what needs to change. We don't need more houses for like. We don't need like single family houses and stuff. We need more apartments, more housing, not just family housing. I get concerned with stuff like that. Protect rights as a consumer. Undertake the comprehensive review of insurance policy premiums and have the most expensive in Canada in order to bring costs down, consumers improve accident care. Auto insurance. Oh, okay. Slash taxes and give you 1,000. Introducing a more for you cut. What does this do? Eliminate HST. Okay. What do they define as? Give me ideas. Like, why did this need to be on a different thing? Okay. Where did we? How did we get here? What? Excuse me. Oh, that's the thing that we opened earlier. It was this tab. Okay. This includes permanently cutting taxes for Ontario's workers on a taxable income between by 22% for the current. Okay. Sure, I'm down for supporting this tax bracket. Reduce and or eliminate personal income tax for low income workers by indexing the local. Okay. Sure. Create permanent tax credits worth 20% of the installation cost for energy saving things such as heat pumps. Dude, we need those. We need those in this house right now. I have a baseboard heater. That shit is expensive. Make it easier for small businesses to compete with big box stores such by slashing small business taxes by 25%, by 50%, delivering up to 18%. So the issue I have with this is that big box stores are just better. Like, there's some convenience stores around my house that are like family owned and stuff, but they have worse selection and their prices are more expensive than Walmart. So why would I ever want to go there? It's just better to go to a big box store as a consumer. So I understand that small businesses are great. They're generally good. But as a consumer, I'm happy with the big box stores, you know? Uh, yeah. A better future for you. Ontario's education is one that used to be one of the best in the world, but Doug Ford's Ontario, our kids are now falling behind. Our public schools are climbing over a repair backlog. Our graduation rates are falling, and our test scores are plummeting. Meanwhile, our recent post-secondary graduates are drowning in debts, and our colleges and universities are underfunded. Thousands of international students were sold a false bill of goods. Ooh, this is exactly what I was talking about when I was mentioning the student visa stuff. It was not the abuse by the people. Fucking, I I'm now realizing what it looks like. I'm not meaning the abuse by the people. It's by the schools. Because what they'll do is they just get them in, they charge them way too much, and then they'll get as many international students as possible, and then they'll try and just like, it's one of the more easier ways to immigrate to Canada, so they just get people that want to immigrate to Canada and don't actually like know what they're getting themselves into, and that seems a little bit shitty. So I'm glad it got mentioned here. Uh, where was I? Thousands of international students who are being sold a false bill of goods and leveraged as a funding source instead of being treated as kids looking for an education. This is I will give my first win of the day to the, I'll put it in red. What's their, it's red, they're blue, they're orange, they're green, so I'll put it in red. For the libs, they got a big old plus for this. It's time to put education back at the center of the economic plan. The best world class body will work together with educators, parents, and boards and post-secondary institutions to rebuild our education system. Fix the schools your kids go to. My kid. I don't have a kid. Shit, I need to call my girlfriend. What the fuck? Apparently I have a kid now. I didn't know about this. Well, I guess if I have a kid now, then I guess I gotta care about our school. Fix the schools your kids go to. Oh, I have multiple kids. What the fuck? When did this happen? I gotta call my wife and my girlfriend, apparently. uh, Clear the school repair backlog and install heating, air conditioning, and air filtration to the school system in every classroom by doubling. This is actually, from what I know, there are two things that immediately increase like schools' results. I guess they're like test scores and like every single metric. It is air conditioning and heating, and school lunches. It is easier to learn when you are in a comfortable environment and you are fed. And I don't know who would be against this. So you know what? They get a win for this. This wasn't on my books, but they get a win for this. I guess I'll do a new thing here. I don't know what I just did. I'm suggesting. I don't want to suggest. I want to edit. We're gonna call this section the extra W's. And this will be for if I spot anything that is an extra W. Investing in school AC / heating. And we will give this to, you guessed it, the libcucks. Build over 90 new schools for over the next 4 years and ensure that no school needs to use portables. I was never in a portable, but I assume they suck ass. They just do not seem like a fun environment to learn in. Allow schools to address their unique staffing and infrastructural needs by expanding funding, eligibility, and flexibility for schools for the Safe School Grant Program. I don't know what that is. But I don't really care enough to look it up, to be honest, because it's not on the list of things that I'm deciding my vote on. Allow every elementary, middle, or high school student to have support and supervision in the classroom by establishing lower student to teacher student to teacher and education worker ratio. I do think this is a big issue with increasing class sizes. Yeah. Who's lib tears forever? Nice. What the fuck? Where was I? Close the funding gap of 1.5 thousand per student in the K through 12 sector to ensure future commitments are tied to inflation. Close the funding gap. Okay. I don't know anything about that. Clear the special education related waitlists and assessment backlogs so students have access to appropriate resources and support. A big thing with this, my dad's fiance used to be a special needs teacher and is now a kindergarten teacher. And one thing that they have said is a big issue is that in kindergarten, they do not get diagnosed with anything and they cannot go into the special needs classrooms. So you can have there is an unfortunate truth that a not small section of mentally challenged children are violent and loud and very disruptive, and there is a reason why they have their own classroom. It gets a little bit yikes when that doesn't apply to the kindergarten level, because it's a bit difficult when you're trying to teach a class and there is a kid throwing blocks at you. There have, been a bit of horror stories, but anyways. Uh, commit to mutual respect and collaboration between the Ministry of Education, students, parents, and unions and administrators, starting with a commitment to not blindside educators with Friday afternoon announcements. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like good practice. BLM needs their own classroom. I Are you stuck in 2020? Like, uh, the fuck? The only time I hear like BLM mentioned nowadays is when I walk under the overpass and I see the old graffiti. Like, I don't think it's very relevant to the conversation nowadays. Um, feed every elementary and secondary school kid a free and healthy lunch every day, every school day, by quadrupling funding to school lunch. Bro, that is a extra big W. This is like, I did not expect this W to come out of this. I would have expected that to be like too progressive for them even. Okay. Uh, okay. Like, I don't even know how to fucking respond to this guy. Uh, provide education that prepares Ontario for the future. Reintroduce 1-year teaching degrees to expeditiously address the teacher shortage. Hold school boards accountable for spending new and existing funds on prioritizing outcomes such as helping students develop skills for the future, advancing student success, and making schools safe. Strengthen French education across Ontario by supporting community and cultural partnerships, trainings, interboard cooperation, and hiring additional French educators. Again, I don't really care about French issues. That's not on my thing. Actually, I think they go XXX now. Oh, shit. No, not like that. It was a joke on Twitter, I swear. You know, I will say, I know you're shit posting, but you've launched me into a rant now. Since we have been hit with so much snow in the GTA over the last like couple weeks, I have old stale peanuts because I didn't finish my thing of peanuts. So I've just been leaving it out for the little birds in the morning because they can't go around and like forage and stuff. So I've been just out on our back deck just putting some peanuts every like morning, and every time I let my dog outside and stuff. And it is like very nice to see like all the little birds like come and swoop, and they come and hang out in the backyard and stuff. It's very nice. It's a little like joys in my life when I go up to go get my coffee, and then I have just like a little bird sitting outside the window, swinging down to go grab the peanuts. Last summer, I was working on some online schoolwork, and I would work out on the back patio, and there was robins nesting in one of our like right outside one of our windows, and every single time I would see like the mother like run back and forth like food and like building the nest and stuff. It was super super nice. And then I got to like watch them like fly. I was home and working outside when I started seeing more and more robins, and it's like the little like youth robins as they like take out of the nest and start flying around and stuff. It was super super nice. One of the best experiences of that summer. Anyways, I know it was just a shit post, but fuck, I do love birds. Where was I? Expand access to STEM, robotics, coding, skilled trades, entrepreneurships, economics, In high school, a seagull pooped on my head while I was trying to talk to a girl. That sounds embarrassing. That does. And I empathize with that. One time, actually, last winter, I was in Germany, right? Because my girlfriend's German, and I was living with her in Germany. And we were walking to a Christmas market in Cologne, and we're walking by the beach, right? And it's a rainy day, so we have our umbrella, and we just see a shit ton of birds in the trees, right? And it's wordplay. You're going to see where this is going. I have the genius idea of, let's pull up the umbrella, and then we use the umbrella as like a way to like stop the bird poop. We got like 2 or 3 on the umbrella. We were completely safe. Like it's like the only real. It's like the sidewalk, and then there's the road, and we're not going to walk on the road in like downtown Cologne. Like it's like walking on like the road in Toronto. You know, it's just not super safe. And then my sister or my girlfriend's brothers and my girlfriend's brother and his girlfriend both got completely, like they had like 2 or 3 like bird poop things on them, and it was just like we packed ahead. We brought out the umbrella. It felt real superior in that moment. But back to your story, that does sound very embarrassing. I do think being pooped on your head while you're talking to a girl is embarrassing, but I think the more embarrassing thing is the fact that you named your YouTube account liberal or lib tears forever. That's a little bit more embarrassing, I won't lie. But thanks for the story. Expand access to STEM, robotics, coding, skilled trades, entrepreneurships, economics, financial literacy, and civics courses. Yeah, I do like. I think when I went to college, I think we had to have a financial literacy course, and every single business major had to take financial literacy in their first year. I do think it's really good. I do think this would be a very big part of like high school, and civics courses are pretty good as well. I had a really good civics teacher in high school, but then I was talking to a friend about like we were talking about like taxes and like how they don't teach that in high school, but they actually do, and how people will just not pay attention and then complain about it. Like, why isn't this taught in high school? But then I'm like, I was taught this in high school. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing. And then he went over what he did in civics class, and it's like, oh, this is completely different. Like, it doesn't matter what courses are on the book. It really matters like what teachers are there. Thank you. I'm probably just gonna do this and then not do anything for the next like 3 years. Pick blue. Okay. Provide opportunities for skilled trades and healthcare workers through union-led training programs. I don't know much about unions. Fix Doug's post-secondary school disaster. Eliminate interest on OSAP loans and raise the income threshold for repayment to this. It's 2025. People shouldn't live in snow anymore. Go south, young man. I actually will go west. I'm probably gonna go. Don't be blind. Good luck. I'm trying not to be blind. That's why I'm reading all the different platforms. So, yeah. Fix Doug Ford's post-secondary school disaster. Eliminate interest on OSAP loans and raise the income threshold for repayment to this. I do think this should. I don't like this being a static number. I wish it was based upon current inflation and like the strength of the dollar and stuff. But I do like eliminating interest on OSAP loans because it is to invest in the economy, right? Yeah, I do think I do like this. I don't know if I'm going to give it a W, but I will give it a thumbs up. Cap international students enrollment at 10% for each Ontario college and university, and expand campus resources and affordable student residence options. I don't know if that's the play. I think the play is. I don't know, because I don't like it being 10% capped, right? Because say we have 30 spots in a classroom, right? We can fill 30 spots, right? And we only fill 10 of them, right, with Ontario students, right? Or say we'll do 9, I guess. We only fill 9 of the 30 spots with Ontario students. But there is 50 international students, right, that want to also come into this program. And we allow the Canadian students first, and it's, they had first go. They had it. It didn't fill up. It only went to 9. The fact that we're only getting 1 out of the 50 that are applying, that's a little bit nonsensical for me. It feels like a Band-Aid to the arm when you've been shot in the leg. Like, it's like, oh yeah, there's an issue here. This ain't the fix for it, though. For each Ontario, yeah, an affordable student residence option. I do think residence should be affordable. I think living on campus is great. I got through my first semester of college on residence, and it was honestly the best decision of my academic career, because it was just being that close to school. It really allows you to focus on what you're doing, and just there's no excuse. You're right there. Go to class. And I think that's a big issue, is if you're, say you're going to TMU in Toronto, right? And you live out in Ajax or Whitby or something, right? You're commuting 30, 40 minutes both ways just from the train station. I think that's a big barrier to a lot of people not going to universities and stuff that they would like. If we had a more affordable option for them to stay at the university, especially in the first couple of semesters, so that they can get into the habit, I think it would be a lot better, and then we would see a lot less dropout stuff. So I do really like focusing on affordable student residence options. Fund colleges and universities to fairly help avoid heavily dependent on international students. I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. Yeah, I think I'd be fine with that. It would be how they go about it that would be more interesting for me. Establishing a province-wide policy mandating post-secondary institutions to increase their focus on IP generation and commercialization and business adoption of skills, technologies, and ideas. What the fuck? Okay, more business majors, I guess. Cool. I don't fucking know what that even means. Community that works for you. People don't just feel safe and just don't feel safe in Doug Force, America, or Ontario. Holy fuck. Violent crime is at a 2-decade high. Our transit system aren't working as they should, and our neighborhoods' parks should be taken care of. Should have been taken over by encampment. Ontario is a province of natural beauty and beautiful farmland, and those shared resources and under the threat of Doug Ford's rich friends and insiders. It's time for the province to build homes, bridges, transit, protect the environment, clean up our streets and parks. has a plan to protect you from most matter. Okay. Build infrastructure and protect the environment. Invest in municipal road repair, widen highways in congested. I don't like. I don't like the idea of it's congested. Just build more. I think every single survey, or not survey, but like every single analysis has shown that this is just, it just leads to more and more congestion. It's just kicking the can down the road. Reduce gridlock and invest in needed provincial projects such as uploading and expanding the Ottawa LRT. What the Ottawa LRT? I don't live in Ottawa. The O train? That's what they called me in high school. It's an urban rail. Not like, bro. I don't live in Ottawa. I don't give. I do care about public transit. But I don't know, man. Electrifying and increasing GO services throughout the GTA and Southern Ontario, and expediting the planned transit projects to Kitchener, Waterloo, Toronto, Mississauga. Okay, cool. I do think investing in public transit is, and like having a better public transit system and a more safe public transit system will reduce a lot of the issues with that. It's just, it needs to be reliable, it needs to be safe, it needs to like we can't have fucking what's it called, the guys that like stand and help the wheelchairs and like do the announcers and stuff. We can't have those guys like assaulted like every other week. Like that's not okay. Axe Dogs for its carbon tax and develop a made in Ontario environmental plan of action in conjunction with federal provinces to protect Ontario's land, water. Okay. I'm back to my everything is a tool. Like the carbon tax is a good tool. I think having an economic penalty for doing things that are bad for the environment is a good thing. I don't know if it was handled too well. And I think everybody's very negative on it. But I don't think carbon tax is that bad of a thing. I think every single thing, every single study on like environmental issues and stuff has said a carbon tax is one of the best things for the environment. It does suck that things go up, but you know, yeah, I don't know, man. Like beef and like meat and stuff will go up, but that is probably good because cattle is one of the worst things for the environment. I don't understand the Made in Ontario Environmental Action Plan. Like, up earlier they were talking about how they wanted to do a more like working with other provinces and stuff and integrating. So it feels weird to randomly pivot to okay, now we're made in Ontario only, when they were talking about eliminating. Like this seems like putting up regulations between a Made in Ontario Environmental Plan of Action. Like that seems like putting up regulations against other provinces when they were talking about lowering the regulations between provinces up above, and that a little bit concerns me. Protect prime farmland, including the Greenbelt, champion sustainable agri-food sector to support farmers in rural communities, leverage better communities to fund and keep municipalities whole, and keep your property taxes low. Okay. Greenbelt. Like, the issue is, with a lot of the farmland, we started building our communities and our like infrastructure around these farmlands, and then we can't we go to urban sprawl and we build more houses because we want to build these city centers like Toronto, and then we move out of the city so that we can commute into the city with these like single family houses. And I think that's bad because now we're getting rid of our like good land when it's just like I'm in favor of this, but how? Clean up crime and make transit safer. Train more official officers. Oh my god, dude. I've been staring at this page so long, my brain has gone numb. Train more officers to get crime and drug off the streets. Launch special bail courts at high-risk offenders with legal fentanyl, trafficking, firearms, violence. Okay. Hire additional constables for the TTC. Okay, I'm in favor of this. Metrolinx and other major transit. Connect people to mental health resources and establishing a care fund. Yeah, we talked about this. Oh, wait. We didn't. The care fund to double investment in mobile crisis intervention teams. Provide transit services with operational funding for safety equipment like cameras. Provide transit services with I just read that. Install platform doors in all TTC subway stations. Are they talking about like in Squid Game? They're talking about like so that you can't like walk onto the tracks. I mean, I guess like okay. I do think that's actually a good thing because then it will make it like more on time. The amount of times like I've actually watched somebody die because of this. It was like on the GO train, but I was going to the city to watch the Blue Jays game with my dad, and as it pulled into the station, somebody dropped their bag and then went to go onto the train to go retrieve their bag as the train was pulling in. And he was there 1 minute, and then the next he was underneath the tracks dead. And then all the trains got canceled for like 2 hours. And I watched a guy fall onto the tracks and die like 5 feet away from me. And like the train is like screeching to a halt, so I had to like run behind like a pillar to like avoid the rocks getting hit as like the brakes slam on. But yeah, I'm in favor of safety equipment and doors and stuff for that, so that doesn't happen again, because that was a little bit, that was pretty scarring. I won't lie, that fucked me up for like a year. Safeguard communities and assist policy to monitor and catch criminals by introducing the safe rebate. GO train is a train, not subway. Doors won't be there. I understand that, but also I think there's a more of a risk with the subway station and stuff because there's just more people in a smaller area. Like, a subway is just kind of a small train. Like, if you think about it, that's kind of what they are. And so I understand, like, oh my god, I know that a train isn't a subway. But what I'm saying is, that was pretty shitty. I know this happens often because I have been in Toronto when shit gets canceled because somebody has fallen onto the tracks. I know this happens, and it happens like every week or so. If we could reduce that, if less people could have to see that, I'm in favor of that. Because yeah, that's just, it's not a pretty sight. Supporting access and funding to equipment that offers up to 5 on homes, rebates for small businesses, and rebates. That's a lot for religion. Don't disagree. They all should have them. Most of Europe has them. Yeah, Cologne doesn't. I know the because where I lived in Europe I lived in Germany, and their train system is shit. It's actually worse than the GO trains. It's actually a little bit insane. They have the ICE trains, which is like the inner, like I think it's like intercontinental. Well, we can Google this. ICE trains. Intercity Express. These. Oh my god, the fucking Deutsche Bahn. Fuck these guys. Uh, but these trains are super fucking nice. When I go to Germany, it is I take one of these from Frankfurt to Cologne, and then I go to my girlfriend's house from there. But these are super fucking nice. They had like 200. They're like our Via trains and shit. Um, but at least in Germany, they don't have them as much. Uh, I can't remember if they had them in Amsterdam. We went to Amsterdam 2 years ago, it was. I think it was a. I think we mostly just took the trains or the buses and stuff. But oh my god, the Amsterdam fucking public transit system is so fucking great. It makes me like so sad that we have nothing similar to this. It's a. It's like having like the best food of your life, and then forgetting how you made it, and it's so sad. Uh, but yeah, ban organize also like 10,000 like for religious. I'm not a fan of that. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of religious institutions getting favorable treatment from the government. I think it's fine. You can practice it, but I don't think you should get like extreme tax things from the government. Uh, ban organizations are participating in hate motivated activities to incite violence within 300 meters of vulnerable. Uh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That is an L. I do not like this. Um, I I I get what they're saying. But I don't like the like cracking down on protests. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Cost of getting basics right. Doug Ford's self-serving election means there's no update to the economic and fiscal outlook and a possible trade war. Nobody knows what public finances look like, and they don't tell anyone before you vote. In a reckless rush to save his own job, Premier announced that 8.8 billion in new spending in the final hours of the calling the election. That is on top of his $150 billion fantasy tunnel. I don't know what the fuck this means other than his asshole. Like, what is the fantasy tunnel that they keep referencing? Don't just create. Oh, wait. Inciting violence is already. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. Sometimes the things show up on the like thing there, and then they don't show up on the actual chat itself. But I can see your messages; they pop up. Yeah, inciting violence is already illegal, and you already need a permit to protest a lot of things. So I don't know why it's a. I don't know. I don't like cracking down on the right to protest and stuff. That's a little bit scary to me. Self-serving election means in a reckless rush to save his job, which has committed to pursuing on multiple. I don't know what the fucking fantasy tunnel is. Like, okay. Ontario is now taking the highest per capita provincial revenue in its history, even after adjusting for inflation. In other words, Doug Forest, Ontario, you are paying the most provincial taxes and fees per person ever, more than under Bob. Okay. Yeah. Again, I've said this a million times. I don't care about taxes as a raw number. I care about taxes in proportion to what they're going to. Like, I don't care if we have to pay a 10% tax if it funds everything that we want it to fund, social programs wise and stuff. I don't care if we have to pay a 20% tax. If we agree that we want these social programs, I don't care what it costs us. It should be done. Like, if we have to pay, if we're sitting in a room and we have to pay $10 for that guy over there to not shoot the other guy, I'm going to pay the $10. If it's $20, I'm going to pay the $20. Eventually it gets to a point where it's like, maybe I'm not paying $1 million every second, but it is like, you know, it's finding the proportion. I don't think taxes are a bad thing. Ontario's Liberals will change that by reducing the tax burden and investing in the basic public services that will help you and get your family. I think the more important thing is that just like the taxes aren't being put to good use? Like, I don't care about like the net sum of taxes. I just care about like, yeah, what are the things being put towards? Like, I don't know. Tears will change that burden and investing in the basic public structures that will help you and your family get ahead. As committed during the campaign, we are presenting a plan that costed prioritizes tax reductions and gets the basics right. Okay, new areas of spending. Average per year. No new taxes. Okay. Okay. Average per year, 4-year cumulative. Okay. What's the... It's just... I don't know. I don't know enough about the budget, to be honest. Undertake the ambitious savings process will... Yeah. Undertake the ambitious savings annually through value and efficiency save process that will aim to achieve 2.5 of annual savings value endorsements for the Ontario taxpayers. Those are slogans. The billions are going where? That isn't a budget. Well, yeah, like... It's just so weird to just, like, add something like this and not actually say it. Like, I'm reading the platform. I'm reading, like, the reason I'm reading this is I want to know what your plan is, right? A plan to do more for you. And if you give me, like, slogans and what I want, or slogans and just, like, try and tell me what I want to hear, that doesn't actually give me, like, an actionable plan. And that kind of sucks. But I feel like that's going to be a theme as we go for more of these. Okay, final page. To support these investments, Ontario will undertake the ambitious create an Office of Cost Control, which will have oversight on all major public sector procurement projects and spending, both municipal and provincial levels, including review significant overspendings on recent transportation projects. Okay. We will also leverage the best available Canadian innovation technology and cut down on outsourcing, improve efficiency and project delivery, and better focus on province on what it can, and better focus the province on what it can do best. Ensure accountability for the promises being made by providing regular updates to the public on the progress. Yeah. Okay. Because our plan will reduce taxes for the people, attract and retain new business investors. Because our plan will reduce taxes for people of Ontario, attract and retain new business investment, accelerate housing and construction, and help the most vulnerable in society escape poverty. Team Bonnie will position Ontario to achieve a stronger economic growth. We will build prosperity that will broadly shared and able to fund the healthcare, education, and services your family relies on. Stronger economic growth means sustainable government finances, as illustrated in the 2024 Economic Update and Fiscal Review. A 50 basis point improvement in economic growth would result in a surplus of that. This would more than offset the new investments. Okay. So their answer is, we're going to make more money. And we're not going to raise taxes because we're going to make them more money. And with the taxes we have now, we're going to fund all these other things. This seems like a bit of fantasy land. This seems a lot of fantasy land. Yeah. Ontario's Liberals will amend the taxpayer protection and priorities will disclose chiefs before an election and impose consequences on governments who do not keep these commitments when in office. Okay. I don't know. Like, what do you mean by enforce? The last part is good. Everything else is just yeah. Like this page is what I've been looking for. I get a little bit concerned, and by like imposed consequences and stuff, because the consequences for politicians that don't hold their promises is they don't get elected again. That's the consequence. That's the system we have set up. That's what democracy is. You don't keep your promises. You don't do what you're supposed to. Then the people vote you out, and that's why we have a democracy. I get scared when people say that they're going to impose consequences through other means, because that does just sound like, hey, if you don't do what I say, then I'm going to entrench my power and make it harder for you. And that scares me a little bit, but I don't know what they mean because they left it pretty vague. But I don't know. How long is this? That's the rent, solving disputes. We read most of this. Introducing phased out. Yeah. Getting more co-ops built. Let's talk about the rent control thing. Shortly after getting elected, Doug a decision on rent control. Homes were first occupied on or after were exempted from rent control indefinitely. His policies left tenants vulnerable to skyrocketing rents. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like rent control. Like, it just leads to people not leaving their houses because they have rent control houses, which means the market doesn't move, which means prices just go up, and that seems very short term. It seems like a band-aid on a bullet hole. It's not. I don't like it. All right, I'm gonna get water. And then I'm gonna get angry probably. Thing is, I don't know if I want to read this today. Because I know I'm not voting for them. I know I'm not voting for the Conservatives. I just know this. They took away the fucking Science Center. I don't like the way that it's been going. I don't like Pierre Poilievre. I don't like anything about the Conservative movement. I don't like it. I'm not voting for it. So I don't know if I want to read that today, or if I leave these two for tomorrow and then I read this while I still have energy. And then I can actually choose between the two that I have. So let's go through. Nuclear, I don't think nuclear was mentioned once. Nuke. How the fuck do you spell it? It's nuclear. Yeah, nuclear wasn't mentioned once. So I'm gonna shit. I'm gonna copy. We're gonna go Liberals ? Fossil fuels. They didn't say anything about it. So they got another question mark. They did say like they want to increase like affordable like green energy or something, but they didn't see anything about that. Global warming, they didn't say anything about this. The Science Center, they didn't say anything about this. This is a big L. Housing, they said a lot about it, but I'm pretty neutral on a lot of the things that they said. Neutral to negative on a lot of the things that they said. They didn't say anything about Russia, which is an L for me. They didn't say anything about Ukraine, which is an L for me. They didn't say anything on this, which is fine. Wait, I need a new thing for housing. What's neutral? I guess neutral I'll put like here. You get a upwards thing. Strengthening ties with Europe. They didn't say anything about that. Defending against the U.S. They kind of said this. So I'll give it a tiny little plus. They did say about this, but I didn't really hear any actionable plans. Other than like cutting off like Starlink, I guess, and like American businesses from the like. I don't know. I don't. I'm a little bit weary about this. They didn't say anything about like pro-choice. They didn't say anything about like LGBTQ stuff. They said some like a little bit scary things, like the right to protest and shit. I don't like that, so I'll give it like the smallest little minus. They did say a little bit, like they did say the line that I did like in regards to this. Like that they were given a false bill of goods and then treated like paychecks and stuff. I did like the way that they talked about this. I do think that's the right way to assess the issue. I'll give them a little. I'll give them like a half W for this. They got a half plus. So. Yeah, that wraps up my pluses and minuses. You would think that. You would think that. I know, because again, my girlfriend is German. I know this has recently become a issue that has never been debated before, but is now becoming a topic of debate in Germany because the right wing is rising again, which is real fun. This is more so a, like with my social stuff, I went over this at the beginning of stream, but these are not deal breakers. I don't care if they mention them, right? I don't care if they mention them, but if they mention them negatively, they can take away points for me. And they are kind of deal breakers. Like if they try and repeal anything about that, if they try and like get rid of like any LGBTQ stuff, if they are like anti-immigrant, like again, not towards the or if they're anti-immigrant towards the people rather than the system, that's also a big red flag. These are just like my big red flags in a party. So that is my sort of breakdown. All right, I'm gonna go grab water, and then we are going to go all over the oranges. They did just choose like the worst fucking colors for everything, by the way. Like, this is, I won't lie, I'm not voting for them, but their color scheme is so much nicer. Like the royal blue, and like the green is like, it's not even like a nice green. It's like a gross, like dark green. And then like, what is this orange? It's like hurting my eyes. It looks like a high vis vest, like. And then this red is just, it's, here, wait, if I pull up the snipping tool, like the snip and sketch, it literally looks like the default of the snip and sketch, like red lines. It's insane. It looks so bad. But anyways, we're going over the oranges. But first, I've been talking for an hour and a half. I'm gonna go grab water. I'll be right back. I'm back. Oh, I need to plug this in. Grab this. Just grab my phone charger. I'm gonna sit down. Alright. Back where we left off. On your side, our plan to fight rising costs and restore Ontario's promise. I don't know if this is like super loud. Actually, can I? An Ontario NDP government on your side from day one. Results you can count on in the first 100 days. Fight rising costs. We will provide a monthly grocery rebate to put more money in your pocket. And we'll crack down on big grocery store price fixing with a new consumer watchdog. Hire more doctors. We'll start connecting everybody with a family doctor, fast-track approval of more family health teams and community health centers, and clearing the paperwork for doctors so that they can see more patients faster. Fast-track building homes you can afford. We'll launch the largest home building program in generations, and we'll implement real rent control to protect tenants. Bro. Defend Ontario jobs. We'll take a leading role on Team Canada to protect jobs and pensions of Ontario workers in auto, steel, and agriculture, and direct government agencies to buy Ontario. Clean up corruption at Queen's Park. Will bring integrity back to the government and put an end to wasteful schemes and bad deals that cost you. Introduction. Fighting against rising cost. Public health care and public health care that's there when you need it. Building homes you can afford. Fixing schools and setting kids up for success. Defending Ontario jobs. Respecting workers and growing workforce. A government on your side. Building an economy that's on your side. Bro, I got so many things on my side. I guess this is her letter. Ontario should be a province full of opportunity, a place where you can find a home, easily access the healthcare you need, and where kids are supported from day one to have the best shot in life. Where you can find a good job and the cost of basics don't take up your whole paycheck. A place where you're excited, not worried about for the future. That's the Ontario that brought me here some 30 years ago after growing up in Newfoundland, and why I stayed, to raise my daughters and build a good life for my family. But today, life in Ontario feels harder than ever. Housing costs are out of control. It is harder to find a doctor and things keep getting more expensive. 7 years of Doug Ford has cost you. In every region, we see the impact of government that has lost track of things that matter most. This election, we will change that with new leadership and new ideas for our province. As Premier, I'll be on your side to fight against rising costs. I'll lead a government with integrity that will get to work straight away, hiring more doctors, fixing schools, building homes, and defending Ontario jobs. Instead of pouring money down the drain on bad deals and costly scandals, we will invest in your community, build up Ontario, and get to work restoring the promise of a good life for people here. Okay. That was nothing. That was... I felt like I just ate, like, unflavored cotton candy. Fighting against rising costs. After 7 years of Dogs Forest Conservatives, life is more expensive than ever. From the basics like groceries to the cost of housing, his bad deals and wasteful schemes have cost us all. We will take immediate action to fight the rising costs. We will provide a monthly grocery rebate that is based on how much the cost of essential groceries like milk, bread, and vegetables have increased under Ford, and is tied to his income and the number of people in your household. Will bring transparency to grocery prices, enforcing big retailers to display signage when they raise prices on basic grocery items and more than 2 cents in a week, by way to protect against shrinkflation. We'll crack down on price fixing and unfair practices by establishing a new consumer watchdog to keep food prices fair. I like this. I do like this. I do think signage when price increases are. I think that's a good idea. I do like that, and I do. I also like. I think what I would trade for that though. It's just, I'm very European pilled when it comes to a lot of consumer things, right? From the amount of time that I've lived in Europe, which was, it was like 5 months and then 3 months, so probably about 8 months total, right? I love that every single thing had the tax included. That was so nice. That when it says $5 on the box of whatever, it was actually $5. And the more important thing to me than that was the price per unit. They would have price per 100 grams on everything, and that made comparing and contrasting so much easier. Because here I would go to do the same thing, and it's like 10 times smaller, and then two, one would be price per 50 grams, and the other one would be price per 175 grams, and then you have to like do the math, and that's difficult. And I'm sitting in the aisle, and it's like, it eventually gets to the point where it's like, I don't want to deal with this for every single item that I buy. Whereas when I was in Europe, I was able to go, oh, the price per 1,000 grams is 0.6 cents versus the other one, which is 0.7. Am I willing to pay brand name for that extra like 0.1 cents per 100 grams? Yes, no, depending on like the thing, right? That was so nice. I would pay an arm and a leg to, instead of having this, which I do think is good, I do think it's a good policy, to just have the price per 100 grams like in Europe. I would kill a man. I would kill a man, woman, or child. I do not discriminate. In a video game, of course. I don't know if you can actually get banned for that, but bring in rent control, also known as vacancy control, to protect tenants and maintain our existing supply of affordable homes. I don't like... I don't like it. By vacancy control, do they mean like if your unit is not used by a tenant or something, then you get charged based upon that, like you get taxed upon that? Because I might actually support something like that. I would actually have to see. I'd have to see some data on that or something, like if that is actually good for economic zones and stuff, and if that does actually reduce prices and allow more affordable housing. Because my issue with rent control is that it's very good in the short term. It's good for the first people that get in there, but then that always just, there's less houses available because people want to stay in their houses because it's rent controlled, and they'd have to pay more if they were to go to somewhere else as inflation goes up. So then the market kind of stalls, and then things get more and more expensive as the supply grows down. We will create a universal school food program. I do like this. This is another extra W's. We will give the NDP their first W of the night. They get a plus. They get a plus for mentioning school lunches. So that every child from Kenora to Windsor is set up to succeed, saving families money every day. We will support local farms by using fresh fruit prepared and grown here in Ontario. We will deliver $10 a day childcare. For years of delays for government, we create 53,000 new public or not-for-profit affordable childcare spaces by working with providers and service managers, by removing the rules to limit municipalities in creating their own childcare spaces. We will end the stress of uncertainty by applying to dozens of childcare centers and following up endlessly to secure a spot, and establish one single daycare application portal for each region to make it easier and find quality childcare close to home. This does not affect me. It sounds good. I don't know. That doesn't affect me. We'll make commuting more affordable, reliable, and convenient by expanding intercity bus and rail transit. Two-way all-day go. This all looks good. Like I'm down to expand the GO railway system. I'm down to expand that sort of stuff. I think the less people we can get on the 401 and the more people we can get on the GO train, the better. That is my thought process. We will make municipal transit service more reliable, frequent, and affording for riders by restoring 50% of the provincial funding for municipal transit and para-transit net operation costs. Improving transit service will boost the transit ridership and ease congestion for everyone. We will introduce monthly caregiver benefits for those caring for loved ones at home, and we'll make it easier for seniors to age at home safely. Reliable. We will eliminate parking fees at hospitals for staff, visitors, and pay. I don't know why this is even existing. Like the fact that like you have to pay for a parking pass at the like job that you work, that is absolutely ridiculous. No, that's not. No, I don't like that at all. I like this. I like this. I don't like it that you have to pay for them. That's stupid as fuck. No one should be worried about paying a parking at a hospital during an affordability crisis, whether you're a patient, a loved one, frontline worker, or a doctor. Yeah, like eating like a $4 charge. Like I think when my mom broke her leg the last fall, and we went to go visit her, I visited her for like an hour in Hamilton, and I think my dad paid like $10 in like parking fees or something at the hospital when I'm going to visit my mom from across the other side of Toronto. Like, that is ridiculous. I don't like that this is a thing. Like, nah, that's dumb. We'll make it easier to form a union and collect bigger payments, bigger paychecks that come. We'll make it easier to form a union and collect the bigger paychecks that come with it. Returning to a simple card certification system, or remove any barriers to newly unionized workplaces' first contact from being implemented, and the ban of use of replacement workers during job disputes. Sure, I'm down with this. I like workers' rights. We'll double social assistance rates for ODSP. ODSP was the Ontario Disability Services Program, and the OW. What is the OW? OW. Ow. That's for some reason I don't think that the OW stands for ow in this state. Ontario work is Ontario work is a money to help you and eligible family members with living expenses, including food and rent. Okay. It's just like, I guess, social services and stuff. Okay, I'm okay with this. To get people out of deep poverty and boost Canada Ontario housing benefit program to help more people move out of shelters into homes, freeing up shelter beds in the process. I'm down for this. I'm good with this. So far, I'm leaning more NDP than Liberal. I'm waiting for them to show me someone that I hate, though. Did you just say that? Am I going insane, or did that chat message just repeat? We will ensure an abundant supply of reliable and affordable energy towards a legislated target of achieving a net zero economy no later than 2050. Okay. We will make evidence-based and cost-effective investments in clean energy and efficient with a mix of non-emitting sources. Okay, tell me those. Storage and conservation. We will complete long-planned priority transmissions investments to deliver abundant clean energy and expanding industries such as auto manufacturing and greenhouse growers. We will provide free or discounted electric heat pumps to Ontario households. With access to easy interest-free financing, heat pumps rebates will go up to $19.50 and be available depending on household income, with an additional $5,000 available for households that heat with propane, heating oil, or coal. We like this. We like this. Less fossil fuel. The NDP gets their second W of the night. We will enhance Ontario's Save on Energy Affordability program to provide retrofit support to renters and low-income households to ensure fair access to Ontario's energy savings programs. Okay, that's fair. We will help Ontario drivers make the We will make. Oh my God! Holy, can I breathe? We will help Ontario drivers make the switch to EVs to save money and support Ontario's auto sector. Holy, that is. I don't know why that is such a hard sentence for me. With income-tested rebates towards the purchase of eligible new or used battery electric vehicle or plug-in hybrids, Electric vehicles produced overseas will be exempt from incentives where corporate leadership are hell-bent on destroying the Canadian economy. What the fuck? Electric vehicles produced overseas will be exempt from incentives where corporate leadership. Oh, this is just a jab at Elon Musk, I see. I didn't know if this was a is it China electric car BYD. I didn't know if this was a jab at BYD, but I think that's more of a jab at Tesla. We will reduce energy costs for struggling households, especially those in rural Northern Ontario, with on-bill rate relief for lower income households with that heat with gas, oil, or fuel or other fuels. bill rate relief. Okay. Again, I'm not super keen on the fossil fuels, but to bridge them to the conversation to make more affordable electric heating, this program will operate similarly to the existed. Okay. We will provide monthly financial support to help covering your heating costs as well as access. Okay, so it's just bring down their heating costs and then incentivize them to, like, get on more affordable. I think that's fine. I think I'm down with this. Repair, revitalize, and reopen the Ontario sign. Yes! This was like my number one. This is, you can see it in the thumbnail for the stream. I was waiting for something like this. This is the biggest W on stream so far. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? NDT. Let's fucking go. Open the Science Center. I don't know why that closed. That needs to have never been closed. I hate that it was closed. I'm so glad that it got a mention. Thank you so much. And cancel the deal to hand over to Ontario Place to a luxury spot. We're back in business, boys. We're back in business. Public health care. That's there when you need it. So far, this section, it turned out better than I thought. I am pleasantly surprised with this section. This was fluff. I'm okay with this. This is good. Big W here. Small L here. I'm neutral on this. I'm pro this. I think this is good. I think this is okay. I don't care about this. This is good. I don't know enough about unions and how they work. But generally I'm for it. We'll double the social assistance rate. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't understand this, to be honest. I'm super happy about this. I'm super happy about this. I'm okay with this. I think I'm good with this. And then I'm super good for this. Yeah, I'm very leaning towards the NDP so far. They would have to like royally fuck up to lose what I'm going for so far. Alright, public health care. That's there when you need it. Ontario's public health care system is broken by consecutive Liberal and Conservative governments who have opened the door for corporations to make a profit off vulnerable people. New Democrats brought publicly funded, publicly delivered health care to Canada and merit styles, and the Ontario NDP will strengthen it and protect it. I do like... The thing is, I do like our current system a lot, especially in Ontario, where a lot of it is covered by OHIP, but you can also have private insurance. I don't like the single tax or single payer thing. I do like public option healthcare. That is my initial starting point. Excuse me, sorry. We will ensure every Ontario has a family doctor and we will ensure every Ontarian has a family doctor with our family health guarantee. We'll add 3,500 more doctors to primary care system, hire more nurses, practitioners, healthcare workers, and support families to invest in publicly funded, publicly delivered healthcare. We'll invest $4.1 billion over 4 years to connect people to team-based primary care close to home. We'll tackle the Northern health crisis by establishing a Northern Command Center to hire 350 doctors, including 200 family doctors in Northern Ontario, and we will double the residency positions at NOSM University. What is NOSM University? University in Thunder Bay. Okay. We'll train and hire more nurses to ensure safe nurse-to-patient ratios, better care, and an end to reliance on for-profit private nursing agencies that are costing hospitals hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. We'll make sure healthcare workers are paid fairly by introducing wage parity across healthcare systems so that workers in home are paid the same rate as their counterparts in hospitals. We will get back to building Ontario's public hospital network and stop the privatization of healthcare services. I'm in favor of this. I'm in favor of pretty much keeping the status quo and like slightly more public options, or like slightly more emphasis on the public option. I don't like fully public option, but I do like I don't want to ban private insurances, but I do really like the public option being a thing. Like OHIP is what I'm talking about. We'll fund hospitals and keep operating rooms running on evenings and weekends instead of redirecting funds to private nonprofit surgical centers. Or private for-profit surgical centers, sorry. Priority hospital projects. Expedite the Windsor Essex Regional Hospital for Durham Region. Okay. Restore 24-hour emergency to Welland Hospital. I don't know what this is. Deliver a new hospital for Brantford. I don't know what that is. New hospital for Brampton with a cancer care center. Go for it. I'm down for this. Brampton has seen like such a huge increase in people. It does make sense to like you ever play City Skylines, and it's like you build too many houses. You got to build more like fucking hospitals, and it's like yeah, that we built a lot of houses. We put a lot of people in that area. We need more. We need to increase our little hospital bar. We got to increase the little sim bar. Restore service to Fort Erie and post. I don't know what that is. Responsibility plan for new regional hospital in Kitchener-Waterloo. Cool. Reopen Minden Hospital and preserve rural emergency departments. Okay, cool. We will reduce wait times for patients and improve access to care by establishing a centralized and standardized referral system. To streamline the process of referring patients to specialists and reduce administrative burden on doctors and their staff. When I go to my family doctor, this is one of the things that she talked the most about. Not like I'm being a little hyperbolic. This is one of the things that she's mentioned a few times, which is they have like 3 different programs to refer to like different things, because half the things don't work with one thing, half the things don't work with another. Sometimes they're outdated, and like the amount of like formats and stuff, there needs to be just a standardized thing, and I think the government should do something about that. So I do like this. We will establish universal basic mental health care and increase funding to community mental health services, like Canada Mental Health Association and AMHO. Okay, let's. I'm gonna guess that's what that meant. I banked it. I'm so fucking good. I'm playing the acronym game and I'm winning. AMHO. I'm gonna guess that means for Association of Mental Health Ontario. Fuck. I spelled that right, yeah. AMHO. Fuck. Academy for Nursing and Health Occupation. You know, 50-50, you know, where, you know, okay, well, we're going to move on. That provide crucial services to help people with addictions. We will follow the advice of experts and use evidence-based strategies to address the opioid epidemic. We'll fund in addition to detox beds and residential treatment beds, and establish a wage parity for healthcare workers in community settings so that they can offer mental health support. Cool. I'm in favor. Good. This is not like one of the things that I'm voting for, but I'm in favor of it. We will clear the wait list of 28,000 children and youth waiting for mental health care. We'll ensure that children and families have access to autism services, particularly in northern and rural communities where services are even scarcer. Cool. We will work with the experts, healthcare providers, communities to ensure access to gender-affirming care and break down the barriers accessing healthcare for cool. That is a plus. That is another win for the NDP for tonight. That is another thing that I had on my list. Was just show your support for like LGBTQ people. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for a virtue signal. That's all I'm asking for. It's just, hey, we got your back. Fucking go for it. You know. We will expand OHIP to include coverage to prescription contraception, the HIV vaccine at an age when recommended by a doctor. PrEP and PEP will take home coverage, cervical cancer kits. Okay. Cool. Okay. I'm down for that, I guess. Like, fuck it. I think, yeah, spotting cancer is good. If you can do that shit at home, go for it. We will stop privatization of home health care for long-term care. For-profit for-profit care providers compromise quality for reliability of care. We will ensure that people can live at home longer as they age with reliability and expanded services to support their need. We'll attract a long-term care and home care workers to the communities where they will have a shared culture and language skills. This is what I was looking for. Whenever the liberals will talk about the French, is just acknowledging that there is a huge, like very big population of non-English, non-French speakers. That is good. Reverse Bill 7. I don't know anything about this. They also said that on the liberals side. Okay. Like, go for it. Do it. I dare you. Building homes you can afford. Housing is a human right. Everybody deserves a decent home that they can afford in a community that they want to live in. But Doug Ford's failure to get homes built and keep rent down has made it nearly impossible for Ontarians to buy or rent a decent home that they can afford. Housing starts are down, and homelessness is up. Something has to change. We will get Ontario back with building houses. We will get Ontario back to building homes Ontario with. We will get Ontario back to building with Homes Ontario, the largest home building program in generations. Homes Ontario will grant us low-cost public financing, public land, fast-track approvals, and other support to enable construction and acquisition of at least 300,000 affordable homes. Cool. Wish they would say the like breakdown of single-family houses to like multi-family houses, but pop off. We will enable the purchase of existing privately owned rental units to be converted permanently to permanently affordable public non-profit or co-op housing like Toronto's multi-unit residential acquisition program or the UK's council homes acquisition. I would have to see if this is actually like maybe. Okay, we're gonna start a new thing. We're gonna put on page 2. We're gonna put things to look into. Effectiveness of bro, what the fuck? Mira. Multi-unit residential. Multi-unit residential acquisition. And the UK's acquisition program, Council Homes Acquisition Program. and UK Council Homes Acquisition Program. CHAP. Yeah. Okay. That's a thing that we will look into probably tomorrow. I plan on doing the other two tomorrow. We will protect the existing supply of affordable rentals, including competing renovations and repairs. Homes Ontario will create thousands of new jobs in residential construction while keeping the skilled labor employment period employed in periods of market slowdown. We will create 60,000 new supportive housing units province-wide, allowing the people living in encampments or shelter systems to move into a safe, permanent home while connecting them with mental health care, addiction treatment, and other ongoing supports. I do think this is good. One thing that they, one thing that's like really big in, I know, like recovery programs and stuff, is you need to like move areas a lot of the time, because it's a lot of like falling back into your old cycles with like the same old people and stuff. So if you're able to like move into a house and like get out of like the shelters and stuff and get away from like that, I don't know, like the homeless community and stuff that like enables you to fall back into your addictions and stuff, that might actually be really, really useful. So I'm down for that kind of thing. We will protect renters by immediately introducing rent control, also known as vacancy control. So rent control applies to the rental, not just the tenancy. This will remove the incentive of unethical landlords to use bad faith evictions and relocations to squeeze out existing tenants so that they can charge a higher rate to the new tenant. We will also close the loophole that exempts units built since 2018 from rent control. We will bring a fair system and lower interest rates to repair loans so that the maintenance buildings isn't borne by tenants, so that the lower and we will bring in a fair system of low interest rates repair loans so that the cost of maintaining buildings isn't borne by the tenants, and small landlords are supported with unexpected repair costs. I'm not in favor of rent control. This is kind of like, this is the only thing that I am weary of. And I don't like this. I don't like rent control. But I do like, if we're going to do rent control, which again, I wish we wouldn't, I do think closing the loophole, and I do think like removing incentives for just like bad faith evictions and stuff, that's if you were to go about it, that's the stuff you need to patch. That's the current glitch in the system. Bro, they packed this shit with so much info. Holy fuck. This is like dense as fuck. Like, dude, I look at like, this is nothing. Like, dude, what has gone on with the Liberals? Like, they... Goddamn, man. Goddamn. The thing is, like, I do view myself as very, like, center-left. Like, especially compared to, like, online left people, I'm very center-left. And it makes me really sad when our center-left party is this bad. Like, I wish the Liberals were better, because I feel like the NDP is not great. I don't like the leadership of the NDP. I don't like the like systems of it. I don't like that people are rewarded for losing. I don't like a lot of it. But I don't like the Conservatives. And I just think the Liberals are incompetent. So I end up leaning towards voting NDP. But I don't 100% agree with them on everything. And that feels bad. So I wish... Yeah, I just wish the Liberals were better. Sorry, where were we? We'll update zoning and planning rules to make it easier and cheaper to build all types of home, including legalizing more affordable options like semis, townhouses, fourplex, and this is another NDP win. I do like that approach to the housing, like multifamily housing. This is literally one of my things, so giving that a shout, we like that. And Midrise is near transit as of right. We will help municipalities address the housing needs. We will upload the cost of housing, emergency shelters, and homelessness prevention programs back to the province while maintaining locally focused delivery through the municipal services managers. We will work with municipalities to create incentives for affordable housing in the marketplace, including development charge easements. We'll ensure that new homes are future-proofed for the energy transition with low-cost EV-ready infrastructures, so that all homeowners with a garage can install electric vehicle charging cheaply when they choose to make the switch, instead of paying thousands of dollars retrofitting cost. And I'm going to reread this entire paragraph. We'll ensure that new homes are future-proof for the energy transition with low-cost EV-ready infrastructures, so that homeowners with garages can install electric vehicle chargers cheaply when they choose to make the switch, instead of paying thousands of dollars in retrofitting. I think that's fair. I don't know if electric vehicles are going to take off solely, but I do think the idea of supporting like electrical vehicle chargers and stuff for hybrids especially are good. We will accelerate the expansion of broadband internet infrastructure to Northern Ontario and years of delay. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, kill the Starlink thing. I think that's good. We will upload back costs that were unfairly downloaded onto municipal taxpayers, including the cost of maintaining provincially owned connecting link highways, and we will provide adequate, predictable, and consistent formula-based provincial funding to ensure that municipalities are able to maintain, snow clear, and repair their roads, bridges, and other infrastructures with additional support. Businesses in northern municipalities can. Yeah, I don't live in Northern Ontario. This doesn't concern me. Protect the green belt. It's prime farmland and focus. Go for it. I like that. Fixing schools. Schools are at the heart of our communities, but decades cuts of freeze have left our schools overcrowded, understaffed, and crumbling. Every child, regardless of their income status, deserves a high-quality public education and safe schools that support their needs. We will invest in our next generation with a new needs-based funding formula. The Ford government has cut education funding by $1,500 per student since 2018. Leaving schools with fewer teachers and larger class sizes. In consultation with school boards and education workers, we'll review and fix school funding so that it meets the needs of kids. We'll fix schools with an additional $83 million per year to clear the repair backlog with 10 years, while keeping up with school maintenance needs, and give students a high quality, nurturing learning environment. I do like this. I get concerned though. My only concern with this type of thing is, where is this money coming from? But maybe they will address this. We will hire more staff in schools. We will support additional dedicated teachers, education assistants, child and youth workers, ECEs, custodial and skilled trades workers, to make sure students get one-on-one attention they need in a well-maintained school. We consult on the restoration of one-year teacher college programs to help more qualified teachers get more qualified teachers in the system faster. We'll create a universal school food. This is a big plus. I have already put this down. I am such a big fan of school lunch. We will increase funding to the First Nations school food program. Okay. We will fix school transportation funding. Students, particularly those in the northern. This is more. They're really targeting a lot of the stuff in the northern province, or the northern section of the province. We will protect and fight the francophone. We will protect the right to francophone education. I think this is fair. I think like I'm not a big fan of like all like the French stuff, but I do think French Canada is a very core part of what makes Canada uniquely Canadian. Um, and I do think having French available classes is good. Um, like I don't think it should be. I think it should be taught in schools. I think it should be like our main secondary language, and I'm glad that French immersion schools exist. I just get concerned when a lot of other public stuff comes up and it's only directed towards the French and not any of the non-English, non-French, like second language or first language speakers. Like, uh, I guess it'd be like the non-French ESL people, English second language. I don't know the correct terminology for it. Uh, we will reduce the fees before and after school childcare and negotiate with the federal government to expand a 10 a day school. Okay, that's fair. Um, that is one thing that always kind of sucked is like you would like school gets out for at 3, but most jobs don't, like they're 9 to 5, right? So there's the 2 hours before you get home where your child just kind of aimlessly, and like what's the like old Christian quote where it's like old idle hands are the devil's plaything. It's like give them after school programs because that just on average leads to better results. Uh, we will support every learner. We will make sure that our public education system gives students with disabilities the support that they deserve. We'll work with educators and school boards to continue de-streaming with adequate funding and support. Ensure we have the data to support more equitable schools. Equitable? Equitable. We'll invest in public post-secondary education, increase the student funding by 20%, and tie future increases to inflation. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You got to tie it to inflation. You don't want to set it. You don't want to set it to just one single number, because then you're kicking the can down the road, and you don't future-proof that shit. Tie that shit to inflation. Good. If inflation goes down, if we're in a downturn for inflation, it should also go down. Tied for inflation. Make sure it's actually like proportional. Universities and colleges are at a breaking point, most posting deficits and cutting programs. Decades of Liberals and Conservatives have cut Ontario's lowest per student funding in Canada's post-secondary education. We'd worked with the sector to review the funding formula to sustain Ontario's world-class post-secondary education and keep up with the growing demands of student needs. Yeah, I just think, yeah, I think post-secondary is one of the most important things. If you are debating on whether to go to post-secondary or not, I think it is the most important thing you can do in your life. It just gives you such a leg up. Like, just do that shit. We will reverse Ford's cuts to OSAP and convert all OSAP payments loans into grants, so that graduate debt free. I don't like that. I like the Liberal plan more. I will say I do like the Liberal plan more of like just give it interest free. You have to pay it back. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like just giving it away, but I do like, if you can't afford to educate, like, I don't think education should ever be gated by the amount of money you have at the time of enrolling in the education. Uh, like, it's such a big deal in your life to get a degree. Leads to so many better outcomes. I don't think it should be gated by money. So I think, OSAP is incredibly good. because it also like ties you to like, okay, well now that you're starting to make money with your degree, like the amount of money that you would. Let me frame it this way. Okay, so say working at McDonald's is $15 an hour, right? With a degree, right, you will earn $20 an hour. There's a $5 increase or something, right? I think it's fair to say, okay, to get this degree, you're going to have to bring on like some student debt and stuff, and then you're going to pay me back that difference. You're going to keep the 15 that you would normally working at McDonald's or whatever, pay back the 5 until you're done paying it back, and then anything after that. Usually this hits around like 30ish, and you enter your prime earning years and stuff, and you start paying off your debts. That's when it starts hitting, right? And I think that's what OSAP should be. I don't like that OSAP has an interest. I think it should be tied to inflation, if anything. But that's it. That's it. Um, like yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all. Like the OSAP interest thing, instead of being like a percentage interest when you take it, it should be like tied to inflation or something. I'm that's my pet issue with OSAP. We will establish a standalone francophone institute at Sudbury University. We return the midwifery program. The midwifery. That's I don't know. I understand it's the people that deliver babies, so that's a funny term. Program to Sudbury University and increase the enrollment for the nursing programs, increase access to labor and delivery services while growing our francophone health care. Okay, that's fair. Um, I again wish that they would also prioritize like non francophone, non English speakers in these sort of programs, but you know, c'est la vie. Defending Ontario jobs. In the face of American tariffs, people are worried about what the future holds. If they will lose their jobs, or if anything will become, or if things will become even more expensive than they already are. As we face this serious economic challenge to our country and province, Doug Ford quit his job and plunged us into an election. Merritt Stiles will be a premier who is on our side in this fight. She will defend Ontario jobs, fight back as part of the strong Team Canada, and get to work building a more tariff-proof Ontario that can withstand the future threats of the economy. We will defend Ontario families, jobs, and businesses and our economy. We will partner with Ontario industries and unions to protect the jobs and pensions of Ontario workers, especially in our auto sector, steel, forestry, and agricultural sectors. Ontario needs a government that won't leave them behind and defend family incomes against hard economic times. We will accelerate housing infrastructure and start immediately, and that we will accelerate housing and infrastructure that will start immediately. We will fast track building housing of all types and sizes, reprioritize critical transit projects like Line 2 in Ontario, in Toronto, and GO Transit expansion. We will support the industries that need help today with relief measures to protect Ontario against the economic shock of Trump tariffs. We will buy Canadian. Canada is rich in resources and fuel, rich in resources that fuel Ontario's economy, and this economic crisis is felt across the country. We will work to improve interprovincial cooperation, remove barriers to. Okay, we like this again. Strengthening the economic resilience, creating jobs, building houses, and stimulating more investment in the economy. We will immediately direct provincial agencies to prioritize Canadian goods. With the procurement process, we will make sure the procurement for public infrastructure projects prioritizes Ontario industries and goods like steel, aluminium, lumber, manufactured goods from impacted sectors. Yeah, this is mostly good. I do like this a lot. Yeah, fuck it. I just like this. I just generally like what they've been saying. What is Line 2 in Toronto? Line 2 in Toronto. Bloor Danforth. What's the change? Don't we already have this? Does it not go all the way? Is that the issue? Like, I don't know. I don't know what line two, like what the difference would be. Um, but the Go Transit, they laid out a bunch of things up here with transit stuff, and I am mostly in favor of that. Where was I? Got through here. All right. We will secure family incomes with federal provincial income asset plan. To protect any worker who loses their job as a result of any tariffs, we will negotiate the federal government to expand employment insurance and prevent any delays getting EI out to impacted workers. We will remove provincial tax income on any income support in any income supports for workers who experience tariff-related job losses, so that they can keep their more money in their pockets through a difficult time. I think that's good. I do like that they're actually putting forward, like, this is what we're going to do to fight the tariffs and stuff. That is something the Liberals did not do at all. They just said, hey, shit's coming. We're going to do something. I don't know what. Don't ask me, but, like, we're going to do something. I think, like, trust me. We will play on Team Canada. The Government of Ontario must take the lead with other provinces and the Government of Canada, speaking with one voice and acting as one Team Canada to protect jobs in our economy. We will find new markets for Ontario products and investment opportunities across Canada and around the world. This reeks of Biden's first election thing, where he's like, I'm going to be a president for all Americans. This reeks of the unity shit that I love. I do really like that. I just made a Biden joke, but he is probably my favorite president that has existed in my lifetime. We will strengthen and diversify Ontario's trade relationships. We will seek out trade relationships to new markets and made in Ontario product. I think that's a W. I think that's a W for the NDP on strengthening ties with Europe. I think that's what they are hinting at here. I think that's a W. I think they caught another W. We'll fight tariff inflation to fight rising costs. Under Doug Ford's, Ontarians have felt the cost of living crisis, while Ford has not acted to help people through the economic price inflation. From groceries to hydro to heating, everyday costs on essentials that add up. Life under Doug Ford was already unaffordable before Trump. We now know it was always wasn't we know it wasn't always this way. We have a plan for real rent control, affordable health care, affordable childcare, and fixing traffic for Ontario to fight inflation. Doug Ford refused to face, and Donald Trump will make it worse. Yeah, okay. That is a beefer of a sentence, or of a paragraph. We will launch the Premier's Council on the Economy, with bringing together business, labor, civil society, and municipal leaders to coordinate a strong response that protects our economy. Okay. We will expand the Ontario-made manufacturing tax credit, doubling the maximum amount and broadening the eligibility to include advanced manufacturing applicants, and we'd extend the life of the tax credit to 10 years to enable long-term investment. I'm down for that. We down. We'll launch Ontario's Tariff Fund, an emergency measure to providing direct payments to businesses impacted by the U.S. tariff, requiring job retention, fair practices, and filling gaps. And I like this. I like this a lot. This is like, they've actually put forward a plan to deal with the tariffs in a way that makes sense to me, and I do really like this so far. Ontario NDP government would completely remove the cap on risk management program, ensuring that government has tools it needs to protect Ontario farmers and jobs they support. We will address the threat of Trump tariffs on agricultural products like pork, beef, and grain products, and fresh vegetables by strengthening local supply chains. We will also direct provincial government to provincially funded entities like to adopt by Ontario public procurement We will also direct provincial governments, the provincial government and publicly funded entities to adopt by Ontario public procurement policies to offset the impact of tariffs on Ontario food exporters. Holy, that is a tongue twister of a sentence. Oh, they're trying to kill me. They're trying to like destroy my entire mouth. Don't take that out of context, please. I'm begging you. Don't do that. We will support Ontario's small businesses, creating the conditions for local expertises to thrive. We will work with the federal government to support succession planning, allowing owners to form employee ownership trusts and put incentives for the creation of trusts with an employee-owned I don't like this, but also this will never pass. Like, it's incentivizing co-ops. This is more signaling to like the far left people, and this is the type of shit where I was talking about how I wished the Liberals were better, because this is the sort of stuff that I would split with the NDP on. But there is no good center-left party, so I can bite the bullet of supporting this, even though I don't want to. And that sucks, and it's not on the NDP, because they're catering to their people. It's on the Liberals for sucking so much ass that I have to vote for this. Like, we'll ensure that our Buy Ontario plan engages in strategic government procurement from small and medium-sized enterprises, leveraging Ontario purchasing power to support Ontario talent. We will not increase taxes on Ontario small businesses. We work with the small businesses opportunities we will work with the small business community to develop and deliver the supports they need to create good jobs, including looking at changes to commercial rental protections. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, they added so much shit. The thing is, they've added so much, but it also isn't all just fluff. Like, it feels like a lot of the Liberal stuff, it was a lot of just fluff. But this was it's just better. I don't know. I like this a lot so far. And I'm agreeing with like 90% of it, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's see. We are on to respecting workers and growing the workforce. We will continue to propose real reforms that benefit workers that have been rejected by Ford's government, including 10-day paid leave, a living wage, equal pay, anti-scab legislation, and enforcement against workplace law violations, including severe penalties for unsafe work conditions. We will put an end to practice of deeming where injured workers are deemed to, we will put an end to the practice of deeming where injured workers are deemed to have to work phantom jobs they don't have. We will overhaul the WSIB. What is WSIB system? WSIB system. Workplace Safety Insurance Board. Okay. To better protect the health and safety of all Ontario workers, protect them and their families in case of emergency or disease at work, and provide stability for Ontario businesses. We will properly classify app-based gig workers as employees. Okay, that's an extra W. They did it. They got an extra W today. Nice, good job. Good job, NDPs. You got an extra W. Come here. classifying app-based workers as employees. I think Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and stuff like that, it's, if you have to rely on not properly paying your employees and the people working for you, I don't think your job should exist. I don't think your company should exist. I think if you have a failing business model that relies on paying people below minimum wage and not properly paying them and not giving them like proper employment stuff, the job probably just shouldn't exist. It's probably a failing business model. It's probably just not good. It's probably not good for the health of the environment, or the health of the like the job environment long term. I think that's just a bad way of doing things. I think it's just bad. So I do think that is they have caught another W with the properly classifying app-based workers. We will legally recognize democratically ratified union agreements covering gig workers and modernize Employment Standards Act to ensure all workers are protected through strong, modern, enforced labor standard legislation. We will support a strong Ontario mining sector and the tens of thousands of good jobs it provides. The peace medal and bulldoze first approach of the Liberals and Conservatives have failed to develop the Ring of Fire, which began a formal consultation process with the Matawa Tribal Council First Nations members and other impacted related to the ring. What is the fucking Ring of Fire? Ring of Fire. Canada is a vast mineral rich located. Okay. Is it just... Oh, it's just a mineral. Dude, I thought it was like the oil flame, the it's like the ever burning fire of oil. Okay, this is just this. An oil field burns for decades. This. I thought it was like something like this. I'm like, wait, we have one of these in Canada? What the fuck? Yeah, it's like called the Gateway to Hell. I saw that. Turkmenistan. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's little. I remember fucking science class. Yeah. I'm a little STEM guy. Yeah, I like my STEM classes. The double Ontario's Career Ready program, so that Ontario colleges and universities can create additional work integrated learning environments. We'd create thousands of new paid co-ops and internship programs for young people. I'm young people. I'm down for this. We will support pathways into skilled trades from shop classes to those seeking career changes later in life, and continue investment in skills development funds and work. Big fan of the skilled trade stuff. I took shop class in high school, one of my favorite classes. Super glad. I do like investing in that stuff. I think it's real good. I think it's good. I think even if you don't go into the trades and stuff, like even the carpentry class that I took, just knowing how to like use power tools, use like saw, use like all that sort of stuff, it's just nice. It's a good skill to have. It's like learning to swing a hammer. Like, that's just good. That's just a good thing to know. We will establish a child care workforce strategy to make jobs in child care good careers, introducing, developing, and implementing wage grid and decent work standards. This includes a salary scale starting at $25 an hour for all child care workers, 30 hours for all REs. What is RECS? RECS. Registered Early Childhood Educators. Okay. Oh my god. um, it took me an hour and a half to get through the Liberals. It's almost taken me that as well to get through the NDP. It is taking a toll. I'm not used to talking this long. Um, uh, Introducing paid sick days, paid professional development, and paid programming time. Cool. We will introduce Ontario's first youth climate corps, giving opportunities for young Ontarians to learn skill to earn a fair wage while helping communities reduce their emissions, restore them. That's another W. That is another W in the NDP with the global warming, / climate change. I guess I should have added. We will work with artists and creators to promote the market Ontario's book publishing, film, television, live performance, digital arts. We will ensure both sustainability and cooperativeness of Ontario's film, television, and digital tax credits. We will strongly support Ontario Creates and Ontario Arts Council programs to ensure people throughout the arts and culture sectors have the support they and respect they need. We'll also partner with Ontario's Francophone community to grow and promote book publishing, film, TV, live performances, and cultural festivals in French. Oh my god. Imagine if it was also in German. A key thread in the tapestry of our province. Oh my god, please. We're almost there. A government on your side. This is our last. Oh, no. Building an economy that's on my side. So many things are on my side. This is our last big one. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. And then I'm going to go crash and sleep. Maurice Stiles and the Ontario NDP will restore transparency, accountability, and integrity to government after decades of self-serving governments that put private interests ahead of the public good. The Liberals sold off Hydro One, leaving Ontario's with skyrocketing energy costs, from Doug Ford's corrupt Greenbelt land grab to the Ontario Place giveaway. His government has repeatedly put well-connected insiders ahead of everyday people. Ontario deserves better. The Ontario NDP will strengthen lobbying rules and in the Members' Integrity Act, ensuring decisions are made in the public's best interest, not for profit-driven political friends. Respect the First Nations. Okay, this doesn't really affect me. I'm white. That's not really on my bingo sheet of things to pay attention. Electoral reform. We will reform our voting system to make it fair and more inclusive, replacing the first past the post with a mixed member proportional voting system where every vote counts. We will consult the public, civil society, and political parties to design a made in Ontario voting system, not made in America. Holy fuck! And that reflects the needs of our communities. I'm down with this. I do think the first past the post is a little bit yikes. I'd be interesting to see what they brew up, but I do like coalition stuff. I do like strengthening democracy. That scared me a little bit going into this that paragraph, but by the end of it, they kind of had me. So that they did have some pro democracy points. So I will say that they get a big ol' W for now. Stronger, safer communities. We'll fight racism and hate in Ontario. We'll establish anti-racism secretariat to support communities and stamp out hate. The secretariat will coordinate collections across government to ensure programs and services meet our equity goals. That's gonna get the. Thank God, fucking Lib Tears Forever is not here. He would have literally had a fucking seizure. equity, DEI. Sorry. We will create anti-racism councils to advocate on behalf of radicalized communities and provide information, advice, and recommendation to the government through the Minister on all ethno-cultural matters, including anti-racism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and education. I mean, immigration settlement. We did get a W on the xenophobia stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I support it this much. Like, I don't know if I support the anti-racism secretariat thing. Just don't make it cringe. I'm scared they're gonna make it cringe. I'm scared they're gonna make it cringe, and then people will not want to like treat it well, and it'll just make more people racist because they don't want to seem cringe because they're gonna make it cringe. That's my big fear, honestly. It's like, this just sounds cringe. And it sucks that we got to this point in politics, but I think that actually kind of matters. Just don't make it cringe, please. We'll fund our core system to end delays in communities, keep communities safe, hiring and increasing to paid court staff to minimize number of... Okay. Courtroom... I've never been in a courtroom. I don't know if this is an issue. Is this an issue? Probably. Cool. We will act to make northern highways safer. We will put an end to private highway maintenance contracts that have been a disaster for Ontario drivers and have been snow clearance and highway maintenance back under public control. We'll also bring driver's licensing back under the Ministries of Transportation to ensure that accountability for truck drivers who need increased training to prepare for Ontario's snowy winters, especially in northern Canada. I don't know. That sounds... Sure. Regional priorities. Our planet will fight rising costs, hire doctors, build homes, fix schools across Ontario, and will defend Ontario jobs in every region. Geographic regions in the province have unique needs and opportunities, and will make specific commitments in the north, south, west, and Niagara already in the campaign. With more on the way, we will review these. Bruh. Why do you have this thing, but I don't... I want to highlight it, but it don't work. Why would you have it like this? Why? Ontario NDP /.com/commitments. Why would you have it so you can't highlight your link that doesn't hyperlink? That's so stupid. This is just more of the shit that we... Oh, our platform. Oh, they have different Toronto platform. Oh, it's more reading. Another 12 pages of reading, bro. It's just mostly the same, actually. We'll read this tomorrow. I'm so tired. I just want to finish this. Building an economy that's on your side. We believe that public funds should be put to use for public good, and government spending should reflect the real priorities of Ontarians. That means scrapping all wasteful projects like fantasy. What is Doug Ford's fantasy tunnel? Like, is it just his anus? Like, why are we talking so much about? I don't know what this is. And luxury mega spas, and ending the sweetheart deals of corporate insiders and wealthy donors instead of Instead, we'll be investing money in healthcare, schools, better roads, and more homes. Budgeting is about priorities. Investing in strong public service is not just the best thing to do, it's also the fiscally responsible choice. We will build a tariff-proof economy that provides work for everybody, for everyone. We will prioritize domestic procurement, strengthening our supply chains, and protect good-paying jobs in key industries. By supporting Ontario businesses and workers, we can ensure long-term sustainability and growth. We will conduct a tax fairness review to assess whether the current tax structure is equitable and meets the needs of our growing province. To help pay for the services we rely on, we will implement a provincial luxury residence tax on homes exceeding fucking good. This is what I'm saying. I'm down with increasing taxes. It's stuff like this where it's just like, fuck it, yeah. Homes costing over $3 million, go for it. Like, those are the people you want to tax. Yes, go for it. I enjoy that. We will freeze income tax for the 98.2% of Ontario's. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot of shit here. And I agree with like 90 to like 95% of it. Some of the stuff that I don't agree with is like the rent control. Some of the other stuff that I don't agree with is the what's it called? There's some other stuff. It was just rent control that I was really upset about. Shit. I don't even remember. I was just mostly concerned that the pricing stuff, but with we're gonna freeze income tax and then raise it on like luxury properties. I'm down for that. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's probably. I think I'm leaning towards NDP to vote for. I'm still open to other stuff. I'm gonna read the conservative shit, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not voting conservative. I'd be willing-ish to vote for the Green Party. I just don't think they really have a chance. So I think it's kind of wasted. Like, I don't know. I think probably what I'm going to go for is NDP. But I should probably be back around the same time. And then I want to read through the Green Party shit. Or at least I'll start it tomorrow. And then if we have time, we'll clown on the Conservatives. But first, I'm going to organize. We'll read through tomorrow the Toronto platform, then we'll go Green Party, and then if we still have energy, we'll clown on Conservatives a bit. But honestly, this might be safe for after the election. Anyways, thank you for whoever tuned in. I hope it was not too terrible listening to me read shit. I know my reading out loud skills are not very good, but I hope you learned something. Not from me. I hope you just like learned something from listening to their platforms and stuff, and maybe it gave you a little bit more context on what they're actually running for. I know for me it did, and this has been a project that I have been putting off for like 2-3 weeks now, but I can now say that I've read through both the platforms of the NDP and Liberals, and I'm happy about that. I enjoyed today. I might be back tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know. Thank you. Goodbye.